Hi, I'm Sam Perks.
And I'm Thomas Martin with the Sam Perks team at RE/MAX Professionals. Tonight we're doing something a little bit different. Outside of the RE/MAX office, we are here in Sam's kitchen. We're going to be cooking what we hope is going to be an incredible meal, perfect for a date night or a dinner party. And, well, hopefully, Sam, we don't embarrass ourselves and everything turns out okay.
You know, maybe you've moved into your new home and you're thinking, the Sam Perks team made this so easy, what do I do with myself? Well, why don't you get in your kitchen and make some delicious food? We're going to show you how, step by step, all the ingredients you need. It's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get started.
All right, so first for our appetizer, very simple. We've got some Roma tomatoes. Just going to start slicing these up.
Cette fois c'était la dernière. Tu peux croire que c'est qu'une crise, mate une dernière fois mon derrière. Il est à côté de mes valises, tu diras au revoir à ta mère. Elle qui t'idéalise, tu ne vois même pas tout ce que tu perds. Avec une autre, ce serait pire. Quoi, toi aussi tu veux finir maintenant? C'est le monde à l'envers, moi je le disais pour te faire réagir seulement. Toi t'y pensais, moche ou belle, c'est jamais bon. Bête ou belle, c'est jamais bon. Belle ou moi, c'est jamais bon. Moi ou...
All right, well, here we go. Tasty, simple, easy. Gonna be a great start to the night. Now let's get started on one of our entrees.
Okay, now we're making two entrees because not everybody likes the same thing, but we're making a side dish, asparagus, that's going to go with both of them in different ways, which we'll show you later. So to get started, the first thing we're going to do is add a little bit of olive oil to each pan. So I have both of them getting kind of hot. The smaller one is for the salmon and the larger is for the pork chops. Now, a good way to know if your olive oil is too hot would be if it's smoking like this one is. This pan is way too hot. This one's doing okay. So we'll start here. I just throw these pork chops right into the pan. And then right after that, we're going to take our onions and our garlic and put that into. Now, a fun little trick is everybody knows if you've cut up garlic before, your hands smell awful when you're done. It's terrible. So a way to fix that is stainless steel. Martha Stewart sells a little soap bar looking thing made out of stainless steel. You rub your hands against it underwater. For whatever reason, stainless steel gets rid of the smell of garlic. And I don't know how it works, but I know that it does. So we'll let those kind of start cooking a little bit. And spread it all out. These pork chops are going to take way more time than the salmon will. After I get those a little bit warmer, I'll take some sprigs of thyme and throw those in there too. Thyme is just an herb that I like. It doesn't have to be what you use. And then I take my pepper. And I don't know about you, but I like a lot of pepper. And a little bit of salt. And just let those keep cooking. Now that we've done that, I think our other pan has cooled off a little bit. And these are our salmon fillets. And finally, our side dish, some asparagus. We have some boiling water. We're going to throw that in there just until it starts to turn green. You know, cooking is not only a fun thing to do in the kitchen, it's also a huge part of who we all are. It's a great way to show your affection for someone. It's a fun way to entertain your friends. And on top of that, it's what makes us human, really. I mean, the only difference between us and all other species is that we cook and they don't. Did you know that gorillas in Africa spend half of their day chewing their food? And we don't have to spend that much time chewing our food because we cook. So we're not that much smarter than they are. We just have a lot more free time. Okay, so this asparagus is starting to turn bright green. I will show you. As you can see, it's about as green as my tongs are here. So we'll take it, dump it in the ice water, and then we'll move it to a plate. Here we go. Now when you're eating this asparagus, this will give you the sensation that it's been cooked, but it's still really crunchy. It's not soggy like it would be if you sauteed it. Okay, so now we've browned these pork chops. The salmon's done, so I've turned the heat off on that. You can see that the red's completely gone. It's pink all the way through. So we're gonna take these pork chops and turn the heat down to low, and I'm just gonna pop them onto a plate. And this is a new plate because we don't want germs from raw meat on our cooked food. Okay, so now we're gonna start assembling these two pieces. Thomas is going to do the salmon and I'm gonna do the pork chops. I'll start off and then you can finish. So,
All right, sure.
the first thing we're gonna do is take these pork chops, which we've already cooked, and we're going to put them down on these plates. FYI, it smells incredible in here.
We haven't announced it, but really, I was outside for a second. We came back in. It smells fantastic.
It's amazing. So then we'll take some of this asparagus.
Oh, sorry.
Behind me. And put on top of these pork chops. And then the best part. Then grab this juice that you made here and take a spoon. Try not to get any of those thyme sprigs if you use those like I did. And then kind of drizzle it on top of these pork chops. And then if you want to get really fancy, do some garnishing. Why not? Or spill it on the plate. All right.
Hey, like Bob Ross said, we're making art here.
Right.
There's no mistakes. It's just happy accidents.
Exactly. That was an example of a happy accident.
Well, let's just see what I can do. So I'll put this down right here.
You gonna hold something for you?
I'll go ahead and grab these tongs.
Now these salmon pieces should be kind of caramelized on the bottom and really pretty and pink throughout. And
They're so pretty in pink.
You can tear them in half.
You're gonna have to, they're just melting right off. So if you think of Molly Ringwald here, they're very pretty in pink. Alrighty.
Oh, that's just gorgeous.
It is, you know? It's a little bit disconnected. Hey, you said at the beginning, we're gonna try our best, folks. It tastes great. It's all about what's on the inside that matters.
That.
Woo! Alright, then we will serve our other invisible guest here.
If you want to, you can just take the salmon and put it in a food processor and get the same results.
You could. You know what? When you put salmon in a pan like this at high heat, it might fall apart, but it's not going to fall apart as the great night everybody's going to have eating this salmon.
So then, the asparagus goes on top. I'm not suggesting that you serve one person a pork chop and some salmon. I'm just assuming that maybe you have friends that have different tastes, so we made two things. Now we've got our appetizer. Apparently Thomas wants some more of this sauce.
Why not, man? This sauce is great. Just put the sauce to the side.
Okay. And we're gonna have some of the pork chop sauce with the salmon too. So we have our appetizer. Delicious, Italian, nutritious, healthy, wonderful.
Simple, easy to do.
We have pork chops in a Dijon mustard and red wine sauce with some blanched asparagus. And we have some beautiful, beautiful salmon fillets.
This one's beautiful. Sometimes things fall apart. They still taste all the same.
With some asparagus that's been blanched and then sauteed lightly with some crushed red pepper, and then we threw some pork chop sauce on the side. So,
it tastes amazing, man. We're not going to waste it. It goes great on everything.
Okay. That's our dinner. Now let's get ready for dessert. Okay, so for dessert, we're actually making something that Thomas has never made before either.
No.
You may have heard of this before. It's kind of popular in New York. It's called a cronut. There's a chef in New York who made donuts out of croissant dough. They're a huge hit. People line up down the street to get these things. And you can make your own croissant dough. He even released a recipe that's very, very similar to what he makes. And you can do the 2-day process of making your own dough, or you can do what we're going to do, and that is use some Pillsbury croissant dough, and the whole thing's a lot quicker. It's not as good, but it's still really good, and I think you're going to enjoy it anyway.
Your guests will be impressed.
So I'm going to have Thomas make them along with me, and you can see how it's done. You just unwrap this thing. It's got a little tab, pull that open, and the best way to get this part open, no, you are way off.
I don't know.
This, you don't have. Yeah. So once you get the outside wrapper off, the easiest way to get these things open is just to smack it on the counter like that. Now before you take it out though, this is where the flour comes in. You want to clean your counter off and just kind of dust it lightly with some flour. And then you take these things and unroll them. The flour really helps keep it from sticking to the countertop. And unfortunately, mine got a little bit of a hole in it. That's just the way it came. But it'll be okay because we're going to pinch these things together anyway. They're perforated in a bunch of different places so that you could make a croissant. But we're not going to be doing
Say that word again.
Croissant.
Croissant?
Croissant.
Croissant.
And then you can see you can pinch it there again. See what I'm saying?
I see now.
It's not so hard. All right, now you want a cookie cutter, a small cup, something to make a circle with. So you just take it like so, push it down, and twist, and you'll get this perfect little circle of croissant dough. I find that I can do about 2 of them per sheet. If you want to, you can roll this out again and then make some more, but I find they're not as puffy if you do that. And
so J-Lo's not going to be messing around with them.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Okay.
Folks, I was born in 1987. He's a few years younger than me. It takes a while.
It's true. I got it though. Okay, so Thomas has got his done, and back here we have the vegetable oil heating up on the stove. So now we're going to fry them. Okay, so now we have our little circles of croissant dough. They're pretty thin, they're not very big, and we have our hot oil on the stove. And we're just gonna drop these in. It won't take very long, and you don't need a ton of oil, you just need enough that if you took like 2 of these and put them together and doubled their width, that you'd have enough oil to cover them. So we got the hot oil, in they go, and you'll see them bubbling. Essentially, we're just making donuts with croissant dough. For the first time tonight, something turned out perfect. All right, so now we're gonna start dressing these up and make them taste like a dessert item.
Exactly.
And the way we do that is you're gonna need a little piping bag like this and a kind of an end that's really sharp and pointed. And then you'll take your raspberry fruit spread, in our case, or you could use raspberry jelly, raspberry jam. We use something organic because we all know that Pillsbury crescent rolls are organic, so why not use organic fruit spread as well?
I don't really care, but I love Pillsbury. They taste great either way.
Exactly. So we're going to drop that down into our pastry bag. Would you hold that open for me?
I sure will.
Squeeze it down into the bottom like that, and then Thomas, would you lift up that cronut for me?
Ooh.
Go into the side of it with a sharp point, and then just squeeze a little bit of jam in there. It really helps to have 2 people doing this.
Yes.
Then grab a little bit of powdered sugar, lightly dust your freshly fried cronuts, and eat them quickly because they get gross really fast.
Or they get cold, man, but yeah.
They get really gross really fast. So eat these immediately.
Isn't this amazing? Aren't we amazing?
I would like to point out that all of this food costs less than $48. Can you believe that?
Well, I couldn't at first because I asked you. I said, Sam, how much did this food cost? And I thought you were going to say like $60, and you were like, no, under $50. And so, yeah, I was pretty surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good deal. It beats going out. It's a lot of fun.
It'll impress the people you invite over to your house, a loved one, a significant other. It's fun to do. It'll mean a lot to the people that you love.
You can share a few laughs, for example.
Hey, thanks guys for joining us. It was fun cooking for you. Sam and I are looking forward to eating all the food that we cook. and we hope that you will join us next week for another episode.
I'm really looking forward to that too. You know, some people like salmon and some people like pork chops, but there's one thing we all have in common.
I think that thing is, whenever it comes to commercial or residential real estate, that everyone likes perks.
Rendez-vous, rendez-vous, rendez-vous au prochain règlement.